Hello, wonderful people of the great World Wide Web. Welcome to the Subtime channel and my motorcycle ride series titled What's Next? Welcome back to the thrilling conclusion of my first motorcycle adventure, where I took the roads less traveled from Zagreb to Zadar. If you missed the first two parts, be sure to check them out. Now let's pick up where we left off and see what's next. As I left the breathtaking Plitvice lakes behind me, I found myself once again in the middle of a stunning forest ascending uphill. The road was enjoyable, with plenty of shade to keep the heat at bay. Despite encountering some wet and muddy patches, as well as a few steep uphills on the rough road, there were nothing to worry and added to the adventure. But as the day wore on, I began to feel the strain of the long journey and the heat. The weight of the overloaded bike and lack of proper meal had caught up with me, causing me to tire more quickly than before. Thankfully, I had plenty of water with me. I even considered stopping to set up camp and rest until morning, but I only had 2 squished protein bars left in my backpack, and knowing that hunger would keep me up all night and ruin my much-needed rest, I abandoned the idea and continued to push forward cautiously. I was aware that the lack of energy could lead to potential accidents and injuries. Even with the scorching heat, the rumbling in my stomach and the fatigue creeping in, I was savoring every moment of the ride. After all, challenges are just necessary experiences for me to become a better and smarter rider. I'm here for my own pleasure and I'm not letting those minor issues ruin my day. Plus, the breathtaking beauty of the surrounding scenery was so mesmerizing that it made me forget any challenges I encountered. Well, as the saying goes, what goes up must come down. So I began my descent from 900 meters above sea level to 680. And let me tell you, it was one heck of a ride. The road was steep and filled with loose stones, washouts and roots, so I had to take it slow and be extra cautious. But I also couldn't help but enjoy the beautiful view of distant forests and fields stretched out before me. Oh, did I forget to mention that I'm terrible at riding downhill on tough roads? As my hands become tired from a full day of riding, controlling the clutch, front brake and acceleration become increasingly challenging. My engine was howling in agony and my bike seemed to take on a compassionate personality. The only thing is, I'm not sure if it was crying for me or because the torture I put him through. I guess even motorcycles have feelings. After descending into the valley, northern part of wonderful Krbavsko field, I found myself on a straight, nicely paved road, which was a nice change of pace after the last few hours of bumpy off-road riding. Don't get me wrong, I love a good off-road adventure, but my body and my bike needed a break. It was already 7 o'clock in the afternoon and the temperatures were still hovering around 37 degrees Celsius. So I took advantage of the smooth surface and rode a bit faster to cool myself and my motorcycle off. The wind felt so refreshing after being surrounded by all that heat. My stomach was growling with hunger, but to my disappointment, there were no stores or restaurants to be found anywhere along the way. After enjoying a smooth stretch of pavement, I'm back to navigating the nearly untouched roads of the hills of Lika. The view of the Krbavsko field below is simply breathtaking, and the road isn't too demanding. But I still have to be careful. Those hills also serve as grazing land for livestock, so I need to keep an eye out for any unexpected obstacles. And I had a close call when I almost ended up hitting an electric kettle wire. Maybe, just maybe, we could attach some light stripes to the wires so that people can actually see them and avoid getting zapped like a bug in a bug zapper. But hey, lucky for me, I'm a cautious rider and was able to react in time. You never know what kind of surprises the road has in store for you. Please forgive my sarcasm in my previous statement. I fully appreciate the importance of livestock grazing and the measures taken to ensure their safety. It was simply a startling experience to encounter the wire unexpectedly and come so close to it. After that electrifying experience with a kettle wire, I continued on my route towards the sunset and surprisingly found myself on a paved road going through some quiet villages. But alas, my hopes of finding a place to grab a bite were dashed once again. At Krbavsko field, my path intersected with the Croatian Tet route, taking me through Krbavsko field and adding a new dimension to my journey. Krbavsko field is truly indescribable. This nearly 70 square kilometer expanse of mostly flat fields, swamps and small rivers, most of which dry out during the summer, is surrounded by the hills and forests of Lika, creating an absolutely breathtaking landscape. Despite my exhaustion and hunger, the experience of riding to that vast field with setting sun casting its golden light on everything was beyond words. And now, for the last few minutes of this video series, some concluding words. It was a wonderful trip, a great experience that boosted my confidence in riding. I discovered gorgeous places, learned and explored new and hidden roads. However, I did make some mistakes, with the biggest one being not taking care of my body. Forgetting to eat was just plain stupid. Another mistake I made was being completely oblivious to my gas gauge and low fuel warning, leading to another "what was I thinking" moment. I mean, who needs gas gauge anyway, right? Definitely not me. But let's just say the stress of running out of gas later made me learn my lesson the hard way. Not the smartest move, but hey, we all make silly mistakes sometimes. After my time at Krbavsko field, I continued on for a few kilometers on both paved and unpaved roads and had another shocking encounter with an electric kettle wire, which is captured in the final scene of this video. As I crossed over one electric kettle wire, I was taken aback when I encountered another just 10-15 meters ahead. Now that's what I call a surprise. While on this stretch, I noticed that I was running low on gas and searched for gas stations on Google Maps, but all of them had already closed. And since I had already decided to skip the Majstorska road for the day, I opted to head towards the highway. While riding on the highway towards the city of Zadar, I had to get crafty with my gas situation, resorting to some downhill fuel conservation tactics. Whenever the road sloped downwards, I shifted into neutral and let gravity do the work while I coasted down the hill. With my accelerate and roll technique, I miraculously made it to the Jesenice gas station on what felt like fumes. Since that stressful experience, I become hyper-aware of my gas gauge and make sure to keep a close eye on it. Lessons learned the hard way. And I finished my trip arriving at Zadar around midnight. Thank you all for watching till the end of this video series. I hope that you enjoyed following me on this adventure and discovering some of the beautiful places and roads that Croatia has to offer. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel and giving this video a like. It costs you nothing, but your support will help me create more content like this in the future. Stay safe and keep exploring. Cheers!